श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनां मुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदान् शृण्वन्नो दिविस्येदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजिनेवते दीनामवित्रयवतो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ओम जयन्ती मंगलकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। साई राम लेन।
Sai Ram Sharma, and Sai Ram to all of our listeners. Today we thank Swami for his grace in allowing us to continue telling stories of his power and wonder. Today's topic is, does Swami give darshan to non-devotees? The short answer, listeners, is yes. When I was in the ashram in the mid-90s, a number of people from Bosnia, Croatia were arriving in the ashram to escape the war zone. I happened to meet, through my contacts with Swami's doctors, another doctor. He was an army field hospital doctor who had been working in the battlefields in Croatia and Bosnia, moving amongst the dead and the wounded. There were times, he told me, when he saw a figure in the distance in an orange robe with large hair, tending to the wounded and the dying. Because he was in a battlefield situation, he did not have time to go and inspect who this could be. It was a most unusual sight, he said, because you did not see this color, orange, on the battlefield. Soldiers did not wear that color. None of the things used in the battle were of orange color. And it was very unusual to see someone in a long orange robe. This just would not leave his mind. He saw this a number of times, and it began to concern him. Then, by chance, or perhaps divine intervention, someone gave him a book about Swami. There was a photo of Swami on the cover. He instantly recognized the figure he was seeing in the battlefields, and he came straight to Prashanti Nilayam. He had to have darshan of this divine being. This is how Swami drew a non-devotee to him. Now, I live on a large 10-acre property, lifestyle property here, which is owned by Sai devotees. And we have many people coming to stay, either as tenants, volunteers, or visitors. It's a very beautiful place. Many of the rooms have a deck balcony which look out onto the ocean and down into a little garden. One of our recent tenants told me right after he had arrived here that he happened to be a psychiatric nurse. He was not a Sai devotee, and he was standing on his balcony looking down into the garden. We have a pond there with a statue of Lord Krishna. We call it the Krishna pond. He was just looking absent-mindedly at the pond when he suddenly saw Swami standing there in white robe with two men on either side of him. They were also in white. One was in like kurta and safari top, white, and the other was in more of an angelic type robe. This gave him a terrible fright, and he kept it to himself, but he saw them walking in the garden. But then, the next day, he happened to wake up early in the morning, and he saw a figure in an orange robe walk past his balcony windows. In a state of panic, he came to see me. He knew that I had these photos of Swami. He said, it was him, it was him, it was him. I wondered who the other people could have been, the men that he saw in the garden, and I began to show him some photos. He saw a photo of Kasturi. He said, "That's him. That is one of the men I saw in the garden." This had a profound effect on him, and he said, "How do I get Swami to grant my wishes?" And I said, "You write him a letter and tell him what it is you need." He said, "I really need $1,500. I said, "Very good. You write a letter to Swami and you inform him most respectfully that you are in need of $1,500, and please give Swami the reasons why. You write to Swami as though you were writing to your father, and Swami likes to be informed. He knows everything, but as the doctors, Swami's doctors told me, they wrote letters to him every day, sometimes couriering notes to him from the hospitals to inform him how things were going with their patients. And this is how I learned to write a proper letter to Swami. You must inform him of why you need $1,500. And so the boy did this. I even gave him an envelope with the address of Swami in Prashanti Nilayam and a stamp and an airmail sticker. I made it easy for him. So he posted the letter. I said, you can put it on your dresser with a picture of Swami, or if you can really, I suggest going the whole way and posting the letter to Swami in Prashanti Nilayam post office. So he did this. Now, the next day, now, of course, the letter had only begun its journey. He was on his way home from the night shift. He was very tired and hungry, so he saw a roadside cafe. He decided to pull over and order some breakfast. The cafe had a little garden out the back with tables and chairs. There was no one there, and so he decided to sit down at one of the garden tables and order his breakfast. While he was waiting for the breakfast to arrive, he suddenly felt something pushing hard against his right foot. At first he thought it must be a rock or something is under the table, but no, the feeling came again. Something was actually pushing against his foot. He looked down and saw a plastic Ziploc bag. He lifted it up, and it was filled with $100 bills. He counted them. There were 15 $100 bills, exactly $1,500. He said to me he thought he was having a heart attack. He stuffed the packet of money down his pants and ran into his car, sitting there hyperventilating. He thought, oh, perhaps this is something that someone has lost, or perhaps it is some criminal who has left this money. And then he said he heard a voice, and it said, "It is for you, my son, for you." He came home and rushed to my door, showing me the packet of money and crying. And of course, from that moment on, the love for Swami was seated in his heart. He had not been a devotee, but then as the years went by, and it took some time, he became a very staunch devotee of our Bhagavan, Lord Sri Satya Sai Baba. There is also another story of the industrialist in the USA, James Sinclair. Swami appeared to him in his bedroom at the foot of his bed and told him to come to India. He had work for him. Mr. Sinclair, again, soon found out who Swami was. I believe it might have been through a book or perhaps the Sai Center in New York. I'm not sure how, but he ended up in the ashram, and he was the sole donor who funded the Bangalore Super Specialty Hospital. And so, yes, Swami does appear to non-devotees in the most extraordinary ways. This is one of his powers as a Purna avatar. He has all 16 powers, and certainly he can be in more than one place at once. I remember meeting a devotee in Whitefield who told me that when he had his first darshan of Swami, he saw Swami come out, and then he saw, to his amazement, hundreds of little tiny Swamis coming out from Swami's heart and entering the heart of every devotee seated in Ramesh Hall. And he said one little Swami went into one person's heart, but there were hundreds of these little Swamis. And he rubbed his eyes. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. But as Swami himself said, as I give you my darshan, my power goes out to you. If you talk afterwards, the power returns to me unused. Now, Swami is not walking in his physical form now, but you can look for him everywhere as a mysterious form. If you look at the beauty of nature, you are seeing Swami. He once said, when you feel a soft breeze caress your cheek, that is me. When you see the moon, the sun, and the stars, think of me. If you see an orange flower, a flash of orange light, a comet, something wonderful in the sky, a rainbow, snow, a raindrop, think of me. He is everywhere and everything. And one of the goals in our life on this earth is to see everything and everyone as Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. This is true realization. This is true liberation. This is self-enlightenment. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Tasmat karunya bhavena raksha raksha Saishwara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Saishwararpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.